Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we are going to do a react video, and what better videos to react to than something I was in? Power Rangers Dino Charge, that's right. So Ranger Reviews is stepping up its quality. If you want to see the full thing, check out my Patreon where we'll have the full 20-minute reaction or however long Power Ranger episodes are. So let's get started and see what I remember from however many years ago I filmed Dino Charge. All right, so right now, this is something obviously I wasn't physically a part of because this is Sledge's ship chasing Keeper's ship. But fun fact, when we first saw episode 1 and 2, the executive producer of Power Rangers Dino Charge rented out a movie theater in New Zealand. So we actually had like a, almost not like a red carpet, but like a screening of the first 2 episodes with all of the cast and crew. So that was really cool to be a part of and see it all on the big screen. You know, normally it's on a TV screen or a computer or your phone, whatever gadget you have these days.
Wrench! You pathetic weakling! Out of my way!
So fun fact, Sledge was often played by the guy who was actually my stunt double in the Power Ranger suit because he was taller. And Sledge, as you can tell, is one of the taller bad guys, so they actually used that double. His name's Akihiro, great guy. And so he doubled me and the villain that he fought a lot of times. Obviously, when he was fighting Sledge, it was someone else, but when they were separate like this, it was him a lot of the time.
Poisandra.
Excuse me! You in front! You're blocking my view!
So we didn't actually go into the spaceship a lot because it was a set that was at the studio, but I think it was really like only until the season finale where we infiltrated Sledge's ship, or I did and Claire did, Miss Morgan, that I actually was ever on this set. I mean, I walked in to see it a couple times, but usually this is just like all the bad guys stuff on studio location or whatever the bad guys base is that season. They film on a second unit, so we're not actually involved or often on that set.
Bring me the energems, or I'll destroy you!
So right now we're finding out about the energems. What are those? Nobody knows yet. All right, so I love our opening song. Again, our executive producer, Chip, actually played a different song for the opening, and he's like, what do you guys think of it? And we're like, oh, it's pretty good, but it wasn't like as good as this song. And then he's like, okay, well, I actually talked to the guy who makes the songs, and I asked him to make it a little more tribal Jurassic, and so this is the version. So he played the second version, and Yoshi literally started like tearing up because of how good the second song was. And I don't know if you like the song, but this is one of my favorite theme songs from Power Rangers ever. I also have it on my workout playlist. It's true. And as you just saw on the belt buckle, when they spin sideways and pull out the Dino Chargers, they wear different belt buckles for those insert shots. Otherwise, it's usually just a solid piece that can't open. But then when they know they're gonna open it for camera, for whatever reason, to pull out a Dino Charger, they actually put on a different belt buckle for the communicator or when it comes off. So they're 2 separate costumes. Ooh, okay, so this is Keeper, you know. Keeper actually was played by someone who is in a circus, who owns a circus in New Zealand. So in the suit, it's actually a girl, unless it's doing stunts. Unless Keeper is doing stunts, then it was one of the Japanese stunt doubles. So we all know Keeper is essentially Yoda. I mean, he's from space, he's not very tall, and he's this wise master who kind of looks like Yoda. Maybe he's related to Baby Yoda.
Wait. There it is.
All right, so this is Keeper discovering the container, which, spoiler alert, holds the energems. Oh, look, there they are, all 10 of them. And it kind of looks like his spear. You know, the tip of the spear looks like the thing behind it. Oh, look, I started talking, and Siri thought I was talking to Siri and paused the video. So Keeper is playing dead, which is, you know, not a bad trick. And then look, there's the energems. Oh my. And so Keeper's gonna have him, you'll see what happens, you know. You've probably seen this already. I actually haven't seen this in such a long time. I'm like, I forgot about that. I didn't even remember Keeper plays dead. So they open Keeper's eyes. There's a puppeteer, I guess is the better word. Keeper has a puppet control for the mouth and the eyes, and this little pump thing that moves both of them separately. And then they also digitize the eyes on top of making Keeper blink or the mouth move. Pretty cool. So here you'll see a lot of bad guys, that villains, whatever, monsters that end up being used in future episodes. Some of them not necessarily, but a lot of them you'll see if you watch, obviously, more episodes of Dino Charge.
Those asteroids and outlaws are gonna make me the richest bounty hunter in the universe.
Couldn't tell you the names of the bad guys. Can't remember. But Spellbinder. Oh, and then there's the Comet Dude and the Frost Guy. Man, my memory. It's like out of sight, out of mind. So we're getting a cool behind-the-scenes look, essentially, of Sledge's ship. And again, this set was so much fun to be on. It's just so futuristic looking, but also has that like junkyard feel. Kind of reminds me of the Millennium Falcon. Like, you know it's futuristic and high-techy, but you probably know there's cleaner and sleeker versions of this technology out there, but Sledge is this rough and tough bounty hunter. You know, again, reminds me of Han Solo. Oh look, Keeper tricked them. They blew up. So again, a lot of this episode right now, we're getting the setup to what happens with us as Power Rangers. So I haven't entered a scene yet, obviously, but we see the comets break free. So technically it's Keeper's fault all the dinosaurs were destroyed. I mean, obviously the show doesn't matter until I come in. Just kidding. But this is kind of sad, you know, because Keeper asked the dinosaurs for help, and then because of the bomb that he put on Sledge's ship, he released the meteorites or the asteroids that ends up destroying all the dinosaurs. So he's like, be friends with me, protect these. But then he incidentally ended up kind of destroying all of them. But it wasn't on purpose.
And the entire universe will be in great danger.
But their spirits bond with the Energems, so I guess, could you argue that the ones that bonded to the Energems still have like their spirits contained in them, so when we wear them, like that's why our suits have the features of those dinosaurs? Because I imagine so. Then Keeper actually did them a solid and let their spirits continue living on. But to be fair, Keeper didn't know the asteroids were gonna be released. If you see me start sweating, it's pretty hot in the room I'm filming in, so. That feels better. It's a little loud. All right, so here we see the fruits of Keeper's plan that wasn't necessarily his actual plan, but is what happened. So the asteroids are hitting Earth. All right, so this was actually filmed in a museum in New Zealand. I forgot the name of the museum, but they had these crazy giant birds. Like right behind her, you can see that bird. That thing is huge. That's like an ostrich ancestor thing, but like, as you can tell, it's way bigger than humans. And apparently those were hunted by natives of New Zealand, but that's one of them. Pretty cool. Oh, look, it's me. Hey. If you look at my hair versus when I was announced at Morphicon, my hair was super long, and they actually gave me a haircut behind the stage at Morphicon before they brought me on stage because my hair was even longer. I was thinking maybe they'd keep it long, but they obviously cut it for the show. And then for the second season of Dino Supercharge, I was hoping that they would let me cut it or grow it out so like I could have like two different looks between them, but they said no. Oh, James getting rejected. Yes, so Dino Bite Cafe, we see Claire for the first time in here too. This was an amazing place to hang out. And we became friends with a lot of the background actors too, just because they used a lot of the same people over and over. So, you know, we'd hang out at lunch and stuff too. And yeah, it was food too. It was edible, by the way. But we weren't supposed to eat it because then props had to come around and refill the fries or whatever. But sometimes it was eaten. All right, so there's Chase. You know, he's the ladies' man of our Ranger team, but doesn't really pay attention a lot, like he doesn't know Shelby's name.
Supposed to be a great find.
Triceratops?
So the hat and the apron, I actually got to keep because we got to pick 10 items from our wardrobe to keep, so I kept both of those. I don't know why, but it was just the Dino Bite Cafe logo, I guess, that pulled me towards it. It's not like I ever wear it, but I technically own them, and they are in my house somewhere. All right, so first time we see Yoshi. Yoshi's hair was ridiculously long. If you've ever seen Yoshi lately, he now rocks very short hair. But it was kind of like we switched because my hair is really long, and then they cut it, and then his was long, and then he's short now, and I'm growing my hair out again. But, you know, Yoshi and I actually found out that we both got cast, but we weren't supposed to tell anyone because they didn't tell us who got cast, but we saw on the sign-in sheet, or I saw his name, so I texted him. I was like, hey, did you get cast in Power Rangers? Because there was like a fake final audition that we all went to, and he was the only name on it that I saw. And he's like, yes. I was like, what color? He's like, blue. He's like, what color? I was like, red. So it was like, we found out secretively that we both got cast because we weren't supposed to talk about it for like a month or two until they revealed us at Morphicon. But him and I kind of found out because we were like Sherlock Holmes.
Trained museum personnel. They hide it well.
So Claire, playing Miss Morgan, you know, she runs the museum. She played, you know, an older character in the show, but she is one of the youngest members of the cast. So yeah, that outside of the museum is a different location than the actual museum. So that was, I don't even remember the names of the places, but it was a separate place. So here's me again. I actually did get to drive the Jeep, and they had to get an American Jeep because the wheel's on the left side. In New Zealand, the wheel is on the right side because you drive on the right side of the road. So it was really confusing whenever they would close roads for scenes that I drove. They'd have me ride on the American right side, which was technically backwards for New Zealand traffic. So this was cool. This was shot with a green screen, obviously. So they had me on like this rock climbing wall, and then a green screen behind it, and then I got to basically belay down it. This is inside the studio, so they have a bunch of basically paper mache, like rocks and boulders to make the cave, and they're like on wheels, I believe, so they can roll them out of the way or push them together to make it look like new cave areas. And I found a monster. You know, those are cool too. Speaking of cool, because it's Ice Age. I remembered his name. Ice Age, there you go. So this is me running away, you know, obviously, like, I legitimately ran away because glowing monster behind me. You know, grab a bone to fight with. Cover your light because you think it helps. And apparently it does! Yeah! Applause.
A dinosaur fossil. Awesome. What is that?
Oh, look at that. So this was really cool. Our props team was amazing. So you got the T-Rex skull in the wall. And what's that, an energen?
Some kind of...
Huh, it kind of looks like this one. Oh wait, it is this one. Yeah, they let me keep it. This actually is the one from the show. But they had multiples on the show, so I don't know if that was this one exactly, or if this was another one I had at a different time. But this legitimately had screen time, is what I'm getting at. It seemed fitting to wear it right now. So this was a really cool place to shoot at. It was pretty close to the beach, even though it looks like a forest. I think it was called Bethel's. So you could actually hike from here down to the ocean. And there's actually an area too that had a sign that said, caution, quicksand, like in that area. I never found any quicksand. I did look, but apparently it existed. Probably a good thing I didn't find it because that would have been unsafe. But the sign was there and I was like, really, there's quicksand? Huh, couldn't tell. So we weren't always on set. You know, obviously if they were filming only certain actors, the rest of us may have been at home or filming something else at a different location. Or just waiting up at, like, they set up base camps for us. So this, whenever you see sparks, those are charges in the floor. So that's not special effects. The lasers themselves are, but the explosions and the gas and things, that's real. And that's a stunt double. Yes, I can do flips and stuff, but again, time-wise, they usually shoot that on a separate day, and then they have me insert when it's my turn to do the action or whatever I'm doing, or the acting part. And I believe if you look at my hair, it changes, because we actually did reshoots for this. So right now it's the same, but eventually it gets a little longer or different looking. I don't remember what part it switches, but it does.
Don't know. Met him in a cave, but he sure wants that box.
They would help reset every time and hand it to me, because it's not like I could legitimately grab 3 different items perfectly from a backpack. So again, charges in the floor. Hair's different right there. It's longer now. See, different hairstyle. So that's a reshoot. And that's a melted shovel, which they just handed me, obviously, because I didn't actually melt the shovel. I actually like my hair better this length than it was before. I don't remember how long of time passed between this and the reshoot, but quite a while for my hair to grow. So probably a couple months. So this was a while ago, so I'm like refreshing my memory as I watch it. So here's the energem again, reach for it. So this part, obviously the camera's right up to our face, and then they do different shots depending on what angle they're showing. We get frozen. So this is special effects. They didn't actually put practical makeup on us.
Looks like you're frozen in fear.
How would you do that practically? I don't know. So basically we just had to stay really still while they filmed that part. So this part, you know, just stare. Basically in the script it's like, you know, the context is, you know, you connect to your dinosaur and energen and you bond. Again, this is the reshoot because my hair is longer. This is the Japanese toy, the props. They painted them though. The toys, I believe, are see-through on the barrel that you spin. By the way, never have your finger on a trigger of a gun unless you're wanting to shoot it. My character was not intelligent with this. So normally that doesn't happen when you fire a blaster, I'm assuming. It doesn't come back and eat you, but turns you into a Power Ranger. So it's kind of cool. So obviously these are our doubles now. We didn't get to wear the suits that often, but we voice overed ourselves, or dubbed ourselves. So when we do ADR, audio digital recording or dialogue recording, depending on who. But when they film up close to your eyes, that's in a tent where they have like a slit of light hitting your eyes, and you have to like, you can't really see because it's so bright, but that's how they film looking into the helmet. And whenever they do flips and stuff, there's usually a mini trampoline that they have the doubles jump off of. They have wires for things like that that aren't physically possible to do without wires. Yeah, so I'm a bit taller now. My double was taller than me. So a lot of times the Megazords are people in suits, but this was a digitized just walking by. I believe you could tell. So now my hair is back to the normal length, so this isn't the reshoot. We didn't reshoot this part. We just did this the first time. I really like these jeans. I mean, I normally don't wear tight jeans. It's not really my style, but they're really, really stretchy, which is cool because then I can do like the splits and kicks in them. So I would ask to wear those whenever they put me in jeans, because sometimes I was in tighter clothing and it was hard when they let me do kicks and things. So this, you know, I was driving. How did they shoot this? I'm trying to remember. I believe there's a camera on the outside of the car, but then they also had, I don't know if we were following the camera or the camera was behind us for certain shots. But this scene, I remember I wanted to do the acting differently, but they wouldn't let me. Yeah, so they were in front shooting here too. Yeah, the way I wanted to perform it, they thought wasn't like Power Ranger-y enough. Like we had different directors and stuff, but I was like, I want to do it this way. I feel like I should be more emotional, like I'm opening up to her. So I wasn't happy with my performance, and I actually got a note back from Saban when he watched this, and he's like, oh, you know, they were very good in the episode, but that one scene with him and Shelby, it should have been like deeper. And I was like, I know, that's what I said, and they wouldn't let me. I should have just done it anyway, and then they just, you know, would have not put it in the edit, but I didn't even give them the opportunity because he told me not to do it. And, you know, you learn, it's like this fight between, as an actor, like taking direction, but also knowing when your instincts, like, you got to be respectful, but you also sometimes have to stand up for a scene when you know it needs to be performed a certain way just to get it in the bank, because then when the producer or whoever edits it sees it, they can at least have that option. But if you never shot it, then they never have the option. So that's the first episode. And if you guys really enjoyed this video, make sure to share it, like it, and comment on it, because we're hoping to make a whole series of this through all of the Dino Charge episodes, but we need your support. So if you guys could support, whether by sharing or by joining Patreon, all of that makes a big difference. So thank you very much.